Things that totally confuse people from other countries, from Americans' obsession with guns to the love of the stars and stripes.
तो हेलो दोस्तों, आज हम देखेंगे जो अमेरिका चीज़ें करता है वो दीगर ममालिकों के पास हासिल नहीं है। तो चलते हैं आज की वीडियो की जाने।
You might not realize it, but Americans do things that totally confuse people from other countries. From Americans' obsession with guns to the love of the stars and stripes, here are some of the weirdest behaviors you'll find in the 50 states. It's hard to escape the American flag. We fly it in front of public buildings and from our private houses. We put it on t-shirts and bikinis. In school, each day starts with pledging allegiance to the flag. We sing our anthem about it before every sports game. It's everywhere. That's not the case in other countries. According to the National Review, if you go waving a flag around in Europe, people are likely to think you fall on the...
यार, जो कंट्री का फ्लैग होता है उससे तो हर किसी को प्यार होता है, सिर्फ अमेरिकन्स को ही नहीं। इस बात से मैं सहमत नहीं हूँ।
extreme right wing of the political spectrum. In England, the people who display the St. George's Cross tend to be football hooligans at best and racists at worst. Meanwhile, Der Spiegel notes that the Germans have a nearly pathological fear of displaying their flag following World War II. The LA Times reports that some countries like India discourage reproduction of their flag for non-official reasons. It's almost like putting it on everything in the world makes it less sacred. Americans love guns so much, it's almost a religion, and our devotion to these deadly weapons is baffling to people in many other countries. According to CNN, 19 countries, including Ireland, Norway, and New Zealand, don't even normally arm their police. Additionally, Americans own 48% of all the civilian guns in the entire world. That's 4% of the population owning almost half the guns. We also own more guns per person than any...
हाँ, गन्स के मामले में मैं मानता हूँ कि अमेरिका जो है वो बहुत आगे है। उसके पास बड़ा ही जदीद किस्म का असला है।
other country, with Yemen coming a distant second. Business Insider reports that our gun culture is shocking to people in places like Australia, who enacted tight restrictions on gun ownership after a terrible mass shooting in 1996. Love them or hate them, there are some Americans' hands you'll never pry guns from. If you're a straight American male, you probably don't spend a lot of time affectionately touching your straight American male friends. Sure, there are exceptions, like when you pat them on the butt while playing sports.
Good victory, guys! Good victory! Hey, come on, good game, slap ass, man!
But in general, heterosexual male contact in America is avoided. It wasn't always like that, though. Men used to share beds and physical contact with their friends regularly, but things changed. When President George W. Bush was pictured holding hands with Saudi Crown Prince Abdullah in 2005, it became a minor scandal to the average Joe. The New York Times responded to the incident, explaining that men holding hands in friendship was often normal outside of the U.S. The Denver Post points out that in areas of Europe, the...
नहीं, हाथ मिलाना तो ये तो नॉर्मल बात है। बाकी रिलेशनशिप रखना ये हमारे दीन इस्लाम में हराम है, नाजायज़ है।
Middle East, Africa, and South America, men greeting each other with a kiss or four on the cheek is expected and polite. In short, it doesn't seem like male friendships in the United States are that strong to people in other countries.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup!
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup!
Ever since the Puritans landed here with their idea that God liked you more if you worked really hard, Americans have thrown themselves into their jobs. Unlike in most other Western countries where people work so they can have enough money to enjoy their lives, many Americans work for the sake of working. And foreigners are appalled by it. According to CNBC, the U.S. is the only advanced economy where workers aren't guaranteed any paid vacation days. A quarter of private sector workers get no paid time off. Compare that to somewhere like Sweden, where they get 5 paid weeks off a year. Even when Americans do get those precious vacation days, they don't take them. Best Life found that 52% of U.S. workers don't use all the time off they earn, letting 705 million days of relaxation a year go to waste. It's why burnout is a bigger problem in America than in other places. Business Insider also noted that Americans barely take breaks during the day, and only 20% of them even bother to eat lunch away from their desks. No wonder Americans are 36th in the world when it comes to job satisfaction.
Excuse me, Paul. Your wife is on the phone. It's an emergency.
I'll get it later. We have important work to do.
If you grew up in America, you probably railed against the injustice of the drinking age at some point in your teens. College is pretty inconvenient when you have to befriend someone older than you to buy your booze for 3 years. And when it comes to legal drinking ages, America is absurdly strict compared to most of the rest of the world. 21 is pretty much the oldest you have to be to drink anywhere. More than 65% of countries let people drink at or before 18. In Antigua and Barbuda, a 10-year-old can legally have a beer next to you at a bar. 17 countries have no age limit at all.
नहीं, ये कानून अच्छा है अमेरिका में कि आप अल्कोहल के लिए एलिजिबल होने चाहिए और बालिग होने चाहिए जब भी आप इसका इस्तेमाल आपको करना चाहिए।
You'd think our harsh restriction would mean we're extra responsible with our drinking in the US, but in fact, the opposite is true. America has the worst rate of binge drinking in the world, and 90% of all alcohol consumed by the underage is done so in a binge drinking session. It seems that when you haven't been brought up to sip a glass of wine at dinner, alcohol becomes something you need to drink in huge amounts quickly. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite things are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.
ये वीडियो देखकर मुझे तो काफ़ी कुछ सीखने को मिला और नए कवानीन कह लो जो मुझे देखने को मिले जो सिर्फ अमेरिका में होते हैं, बाकी दीगर ममालिक के पास हासिल नहीं। तो आपको ये वीडियो कैसी लगी हमें कमेंट सेक्शन बॉक्स में ज़रूर बताएं। इस वीडियो को लाइक करें, हमें पैट्रियन पर सपोर्ट करें। मिलते रहेंगे, अपना ख्याल रखें। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।